Hi everybody, welcome to Trinity Cathedral. My name is Bruce Neswick. I'm the Canon for music here, and after a brief August hiatus, we're back with Hymns Up Close, and I am more than delighted to welcome you, to introduce you to Katie Burk, our wonderful new organ scholar. We promise we're going to wear the same kind of shirt every day for the rest of our time together, and purely accidental, I can assure you. And she comes to us from Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana, where she is completing all of her requirements for her Doctor of Musical Arts degree. And I'm super excited about having her here in this wonderful parish community of ours, where she will have plenty of scope to exercise all of her brilliant gifts at teaching and performing and conducting and composing, et cetera, et cetera. So we're delighted to have Katie with us now and part of this ongoing weekly series. We're going to continue to use this time together as an opportunity to introduce you to at least a couple of the hymns for this coming Sunday, and also honor some of your requests. On the topic of requests, we've actually run out of all the previous requests, so now is your chance to weigh in and send us via Facebook or any other means your ideas for hymns that you'd like to have us play and sing. So we're going to start off with the ending hymn for Sunday morning's liturgy, Eucharist at 10 a.m., and that ending hymn is Go Forth for God. It's a wonderful text by an English poet-priest named John Pesey, and first appeared in a supplemental hymnal called English Praise in the second half of the 20th century. It then got picked up by the Episcopal Church, is now in our hymnal, and much loved. To me, it's the quintessential going out or going forth hymn, and it really plays on the text of the final words of the Eucharistic liturgy. So in that way, it ties in so beautifully with our ending of the liturgy. And the tune is unique to the Episcopal Church's hymnal. The tune is called Lytton, named for James Lytton, who for many years was the director of the American Boy Choir and the director of music at St. Bartholomew's Church in New York City, and then before that, the director of music at Trinity Church, Princeton. This tune was commissioned by the choirs of Trinity Church, Princeton, where my dear friend Tom Whittemore is the music director, to honor his tenure, Jim's tenure there, Jim Lytton's tenure as the music director. It was commissioned from his great friend and colleague, Eric Routley. Both of them were also on the faculty at Westminster Choir College in Princeton. And Eric Routley is considered one of the great hymnologists of all time, and I think a wonderful hymn tune composer as well. And this is certainly one of his more well-known hymn tunes, this tune called Lytton. So Katie's going to play this one, and I'll sing. Why don't we do stanzas 1 and the final stanza, whatever that number is.
Go forth for God, go to the world in peace, be of good
One of our Evensong hymns this week, the final hymn in Evensong, is number 665, All My Hope on God is Founded, to the tune Michael, composed by Herbert Howells. Herbert Howells was a British composer, teacher, organist, sort of jack of all trades in the 20th century. And he wrote this particular tune one morning sitting at the breakfast table in 1930. Tragically, 5 years later, Howells' son Michael, for whom this tune is named, passed away from viral polio. And the event affected Howells for the rest of his life, both as a musician and as a human being. We'll be talking a lot more about Howells at an upcoming Wednesday evening class that Canon, Neswick, and I will be teaching on the life and music of Herbert Howells in the context of British music in the 20th century. The text for this tune is written by poet laureate Robert Bridges. He was poet laureate of the UK. And Robert Bridges very, very freely paraphrased an earlier German poem by Joachim Neander, who's another very common name in our hymnal, as a writer of hymn tune.
Okay, so for our third hymn today, since we don't have any requests to work off of, we thought we would sing a hymn that's in our Episcopal Church supplement called Voices Found. This is a supplement that serves to lift up the contributions of women poets and tune writers. We're very proud of this collection, and we'll continue to draw on the items in this book as we go forward, of course. So we thought we would highlight a hymn. What's the first line, Katie? I can't remember.
Come and seek the ways of wisdom.
Mm-hmm. And Katie's going to talk a little bit about the author of that text in a second. But the music is by our wonderful friend here at Trinity and a very important composer in the life of the church, David Hurd. David has been here twice in the past 3 or 4 years, once to play our celebrity organ recital in the spring, and then he came to conduct us and help us premiere a beautiful set of his responses for the Evensong service. It was great having him in town both times. And this is a very important tune of his called Julian. It happens to also be in our regular standard hymnal 982. So this is just another chance for Episcopalians to get to know this tune in other ways. And he wrote this beautiful descant for it that Katie's going to sing on the second stanza of this particular hymn.
Mm-hmm. And the text for this hymn was written by Ruth C. Duck, who is a United Church of Christ minister and a professor. And she has written over 150 hymns, and she's one of the most important figures in the movement toward inclusive language in the life of the church. So this hymn, Come and Seek the Ways of Wisdom, again, tuned by David Hurd and text by Ruth Duck.
And I'm going to come back because we were talking about how, we were talking about how this could be a wonderful way to just mention that
Introduce.
Yes.
Our postlude series. Yes. So we will be playing over the course of the next year postludes every Sunday morning by underrepresented composers, and we're calling it Voices Uncovered. So pay careful attention to the postlude as you typically do. Instead of doing the collected works or a collected series of works by one composer, we'll have a different composer just about every week. I'm kicking things off this Sunday with a piece by English early 20th century composer Samuel Coleridge Taylor, who was one of the most important black composers in England of a time, very prolific in terms of he wrote a lot of music for the theater, but also wrote a fair bit of organ music. So I'll be sharing one of his later organ pieces with you this week.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. We look forward to seeing you next week. And also this Sunday for our two services, we're going to actually go back to having Evensong as well at 5 p.m. on Sunday. So please join us for both this coming Sunday. And just another reminder to send in your requests for hymns on any of the platforms on Facebook where you see this video. Just type in your request and we'll honor it eventually sometime this year. So thank you so much for joining us and see you next time. Bye-bye.